How do you handle gaslighting with a narcissistic ex and kids? I'm going to talk through an article, an example conversation, and response that you tailor to your situation to protect and empower your kids. I'm Dani, and I create this content to share bite-sized life tips or little dichos that you can use to be the best you, one step at a time. Gaslighting is a form of emotional abuse. It types manipulating the person or the child's perception of their reality or memory. This recent August 2023 CNN article highlights gaslighting and the myths around it as a buzzword. And I really like how it talks about gaslighting from the perspective of it being a form of coercive control. It's a pretty deliberate and patterned attempt to destabilize the person by going after their insecurities, their lack of knowledge, and their self-esteem. Statements like, "You're emotionally unstable," "You're unintelligent," "You don't remember that correctly." In co-parenting, I walk through a sample conversation, and in this particular example, the dad is the good co-parent and the mom is the narcissistic parent. Child says, "Mom, I don't want to go to bed yet." The narcissistic mother responds with, "That's okay, sweetie. You don't have to follow the rules. You're special and don't have to do what the other kids do." And this innocent child, who maybe comes from another house where there is a bedtime, says back to the narcissistic mother, "But Daddy makes me go to bed at 8 o'clock. Maybe the narcissistic mother responds with something like, "Your dad doesn't know what he's talking about. You can do whatever you want here. You're special," things like that. So the gaslighting occurred in that instant where the narcissistic mother is denying the child's reality and knowledge of perception around rules, because everybody has rules, right? But they denied the existence of rules, and they're telling the child that the parent is lying about it and influencing their perception of the other parent. Now the child's back at home with the good dad and says to dad, "But I don't have to go to bed yet. Mommy says I don't have to go to bed at her house." And so poor dad in this case is having to say, "I understand what mom said and how you do things over there. I need you to be in bed at 8 o'clock. It's important that you get to sleep early so that you can wake up healthy and happy. But mom says I'm special and I don't have to follow the rules like the other kids. I can appreciate that she thinks you're special. I think you're special too. But even special kids have to follow rules." And maybe he can add something like, "Do you remember how you felt last week when you went to bed really late and went to school tired? We have a bedtime so that we don't wake up and cranky." So real quick acronym called V.E.S.T. You want to validate the child's feelings, right? Say, "This must be confusing to have two houses, two sets of rules," right? And then you want to empower. You want to help the child to develop their sense of self and teach them about their emotions and their rights. So this is going to build resilience to future abuse tactics. You want to set clear boundaries with your ex by stating to the child that they're going to be following your rules while they're at your house. It's protection from gaslighting when they have a clear sense of what to expect in both homes. And finally, you're going to talk with your child. They might be too young to understand what the word gaslighting means, but at least by listening to them around what's going on in the different houses and validating their physical needs for sleep, and their needs are not being denied, which is what's going on in the other house. If they're actually older, explain what gaslighting means. Also notice I never once badmouth the other parent. Don't be afraid to have these conversations with your kids, and don't be afraid to reach out for help if you think this is an ongoing abuse tactic in your situation. Remember, you've got this. I'll see you guys again very soon. Ciao.